Okay, so I have a confession to make. For years, I was that person who rolled their eyes so hard every time my parents blamed something on my phone. Bad grade? Oh, it's the phone. Stubbed your toe? Definitely the phone. But lately, I've been starting to wonder, what if they were right?
You know the line, right? It was the soundtrack to my teenage years. Anything went wrong and you could count on hearing it. It's because of that phone. It was the go-to scapegoat for, well, literally everything.
And what did we do? We rolled our eyes. We scoffed. We thought they just didn't get it, you know? Come on, Mom, this has nothing to do with my phone and everything to do with that sketchy burrito I had for lunch.
I know, it's painful to even think about. But as I look at this little glowing rectangle that's basically a permanent part of my hand now, that old complaint, it's starting to sound less like nagging and more like a prophecy. What if they actually saw something that we were all too busy scrolling to notice?
So let's get into it. Let's talk about what we've actually lost. Because while our heads have been buried in our screens, we've been trading away these huge fundamental parts of just being human. And we didn't even notice the transaction.
Seriously, ask yourself this. When was the last time you were truly, deeply, existentially bored? And I don't mean, there's nothing new on Netflix bored. I mean, really, truly bored. The kind of bored where you just sit there, stare at a wall. You probably can't even remember, can you?
That's because the second an empty moment appears, waiting in line, sitting on the bus, whatever, our hand makes this magnetic, instinctual journey to our pocket. We pull out the phone, and we kill that silence before it even has a chance to take a breath. We've become allergic to being alone with our own thoughts.
And in killing boredom, we've accidentally killed off all the little side quests of life. You know what I mean? Those random, unscripted moments? Overhearing some hilarious conversation, noticing a ridiculous headline on a magazine, or just looking at the people around you and wondering what their story is.
We're walking through the world with these digital blinders on. We are physically present, but mentally we are checked out, a million miles away. We are actively deleting the random, messy, human parts of our day to make more space for data and notifications.
And just look at the trade-off we've made. We swapped the joy of actually discovering something for the efficiency of the scroll. We don't call a friend to see what's new. We already know what they had for breakfast because we saw their post. And our conversations have become these weird transactions. Hey, saw your post. The mystery's gone. The whole reason to connect is just disappearing.
And this is the great paradox, isn't it? We are drowning in information. We have more friends than any generation in history. And yet, so many of us feel completely and utterly alone. We're overfed, but we're starving for actual, real connection. So why? Why does this constant fire hose of information leave us feeling so meh, so empty? Well, it kind of comes down to brain science and what we're feeding our minds 24/7. Think about it like this. Our brains were not designed for this. A real dopamine hit used to come from finishing something hard or having an amazing conversation. Now we get a tiny little drip every half second. A swipe, a like, a new video. It's like we're hooked up to an IV of digital sugar. And just like real sugar, it feels good for a second, but ultimately, it just leads to a crash.
And here's the real kicker. Our brains get desensitized to it all. Our tolerance for amazing gets shot through the roof. So how can a simple, quiet, real-life sunset possibly compete with a constant, screaming, hyper-edited circus online? It can't. Reality starts to feel, well, boring.
And it goes even deeper. When you do see that beautiful sunset, what's your first thought? Is it to just feel it, to soak it in, or is it to pull out your phone, frame the perfect shot, and capture it? You're not living the moment. You're harvesting content for your personal brand. You've become the unpaid 24/7 CEO of Me Incorporated. It is an exhausting, nonstop job managing your own PR, creating content, and handling your brand. And what's your salary for all this round-the-clock work? A big, fat zero.
So what do we do when we feel that exhaustion, that little ping of anxiety, that flicker of loneliness or boredom? We reach for the phone. It's our instant comfort. It has literally become an adult pacifier, the thing we use to immediately soothe any uncomfortable feeling the second it shows up.
But here's the problem. By constantly soothing away every minor discomfort, we never build any tolerance. We're not building up the mental and emotional calluses we need to deal with the much bigger, messier, and unavoidable challenges of, actual life. Okay. That all sounds pretty bleak, I know. But the point here isn't to just throw our hands up in despair. It's about taking a little bit of that control back. And we can start with a really simple but powerful experiment.
Now, let's be super clear. I'm not saying we should all go full-on Luddite and chuck our phones into a river. Although, let's be honest, some days that sounds pretty amazing. No, this is about a small, conscious act of rebellion.
Here it is, the challenge. The next time you find yourself in one of those in-between moments and you feel that twitch, that automatic urge to pull out your phone, just don't. Resist it. It's going to feel weird, maybe even a little uncomfortable. But just sit there, look up, look around you, and let your brain do something it probably hasn't done in years. Get bored. Because here's the secret they never tell you. Boredom isn't an empty space. It's a creative space. It's where the magic happens. It's where your best ideas are born. It's where you finally reconnect with yourself. And notice that the real world, it's actually pretty damn interesting when you stop looking at the edited version of it.
So, I guess I'll just leave you with this question. We spend all these hours scrolling, searching for something, connection, entertainment, some kind of validation. But what if the rich, messy, interesting, meaningful life we're actually looking for isn't inside that phone at all? What if it's the very thing we're ignoring every single time we look down? Maybe it really was the phones all along.